Obama, former President of the United States of America. Ooh, wait, wrong script. Obama, firm supporters of the Shogunate, and descendants of the Minamoto clan. Hi, my name is MrSmartDonkey, and today we're going to be taking a look at the ins and outs of the Obama. As always, we'll start with the Obama's clan traits. The Obama are known as the Overseers, due to their proficiency in managing populations and their experience in government and administration. This is illustrated by each of their traits, starting with Overseeing, which increases income from tax by 5%, which adds up to quite a large amount over time. Another moneymaker is Logistics, which reduces upkeep of all land units by 10%. These two traits combined will make you a lot of money over time. Next up is Vigilance, which gives their defending garrison units +2 experience, making it a little easier to defend castles against enemy armies. Finally, the Obama have an easier time keeping their domain happy because of Authority, which gives an extra +2 repression across all provinces. It's time to look at the Obama's campaign map situation. The Obama start in Wakasa, just north of Kyoto. Wakasa is a poor province due to its meager soil and no special buildings. It does have a port and a police station already built. However, since you start with a Shinzengumi already out in the field, I would recommend demolishing the police station in favor of an inn or a cottage industry to increase your income a little. Speaking of income, at the start of your campaign yours will be incredibly low, both due to the poor province, but also because you start with more units than most other clans do. Of course you also start with some ships, and just like I always say, I would recommend scoppering either both or at least the most expensive ship, especially on higher difficulties, as you'll likely struggle for income for a while. With the Obama, it might be worth keeping the gunboat around, as you'll likely be taking towns near the coastline for at least a little while, and the naval bombardments could come in handy. Speaking of taking towns, let's have a look at your neighbors, starting in the west with the Miyazu in Tango, who you start out allied with. Tango is of similar wealth to Wakasa and thus not a particularly great target for expansion. That said, as always in Fall of the Samurai, you can't really trust allies before realm divide, and thus the Miyazu will likely betray you sooner or later, so make sure to keep some units around Wakasa to deal with that eventuality. To your southwest are the Sasayama, in a more wealthy town due to the silk resource. You likely won't find yourself at odds with them for a while, but it's a nice target for the future. Another clan you probably won't be fighting for a while are the Yodo in Kyoto, or Yamashiro if you will. This is one of the provinces you'll need to own as a victory condition, but you shouldn't concern yourself with that for a long time. To their east are the Hikone in Omi, a very rich town due to their very fertile soil as well as the silver mine. This is a town I'd recommend targeting fairly early on, but not before you take Echizen, owned by the Fukui, your true first target as you start out at war with them, a rich town with fertile soil and the clay resource. I would recommend following that up by taking Kaga, which will make for a great recruitment province due to its blacksmith. Finally, let's have a peek at the Obama family tree. Your daimyo is the 51-year-old Sakai Tadayoshi, who starts with no special traits. Tadayoshi has two sons, the 31-year-old Tadauji and the 25-year-old Tadamoto, who both also don't have any special traits. Let's talk about the Obama's unique units. Whew, I'm glad we got that over with. Finally, it's time for the army composition recommendation. As mentioned in previous Fall of the Samurai clan overviews, for the army composition recommendation I will not be recommending the most effective army, as that would mean I'd show the same army for every clan, but instead I will recommend an army that stays in line with the clan traits and theme. As mentioned earlier, the Obama are known as the Overseers and are very effective at keeping peace and managing their domain, so with that in mind this is what I came up with. First up, some Shogunate Guard Cavalry, fast moving units that can reinforce wherever needed with their long lances giving them a solid charge. For the mainline infantry I've chosen Shinzengumi Police Force, because you can't keep the peace without a solid force of police. In that vein I've decided to reinforce them with some Kyoto police. Despite them being only recruitable in Kyoto and not being particularly amazing, they fit the theme too well not to use. Finally, a couple units of Armstrong guns, because even in heavily themed armies it would be an insult to the Armstrong guns not to include them anyway, because that's how good they are. That is gonna do it for the Obama clan overview. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the comments and I shall do my best to answer them. In case you missed it, I now have an official merchandise store, check the links at the top of the description. Finally, if you'd like me to make more of these videos, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Thank you very much for watching, have a good day, and goodbye.